Roland Martin is back at it again, trying his best to shame black men into voting for Democratic Party and draw battle lines between black men and black women. He's using his platform to double down on this, where he's talking down on black men, saying black men fail to organize, black men fail to realize, the prize and what's at hand. And he's using this kind of stuff. He's not using his platform to explain to younger black men the importance of getting things passed, or maybe some of the things that they complain about. Tell them about some of the notable black men in the past, like Bob Moses or James Bevel or A. Philip Randolph. No, he don't do that. He goes and says, well, black women are organizing. You ain't, right? As if when these black men were organizing, they were organizing for the betterment of the community, the whole community. It wasn't not just black women or like what they're doing is they're doing this divide and conquer within the black community, right? And they're pushing black men down or talking down on black men or saying what black men ain't doing when black men historically have been on the front line losing their lives for our people, right? There's a lot of things that I can say, but what I don't want to do is take part in this dumb gender war and talking down on black women to boost up black men, or talking down on black men to boost up black women. I don't want to take a part in what they're doing, because in the black community, whether it's the black woman or the black man, everything that we should doing should benefit each other. It should benefit our babies. Man, I got 2 daughters and 2 sons. I want the best for all of them, right? But when you're dealing with these people, man, this thing is real goofy. Watch this, right? Let's get off into this.
Who are also angry at Democrats because of black girl magic.
Hold on, let's go back.
There are a lot of black men who are also angry at Democrats because of black girl magic. See, I ain't got a problem saying it. And I've had conversations with many sisters who kept assigning everything to misogyny. And I said, you can't do that. And I'm like, take it from me as a black man. I know the conversations that I have. And so what I've had to say to brothers is, brothers, you're offended by black girl magic. You're offended when people say that black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. It's also factually correct that black men are the second largest voting bloc of the Democratic Party.
That's right. So if black men are the second largest voting bloc of the Democratic Party, why are you allowing them to say that they're the backbone and talking down instead of you using your platform to help organize black men, some of these young black boys or young black men that may have lost hope, that may have looked around and said, yo, I'm not supporting this. But let's proceed. Let me show you just how dangerous this guy is, man.
A lot of these brothers are upset because I had a brother who told me, who was running in Texas, he said, you ain't got no shot in running if you're a black man. You got to be a black woman. And I was like, where did you get that from? And he started explaining to me. And this is what I said to him. And this is the reality, Michael. A lot of these brothers are pissed off that these sisters have organized themselves, have mobilized themselves, are raising money, are doing what they're supposed to do. And then when I look over here, I see a whole bunch of brothers with attitudes and sour faces. And my response to them is, well, why aren't you organizing? And I've said, listen, I got no problem. I've said to Khalil, bruh, win with black men. Yes, we had that great call the day after Kamala, Joe dropped out. I said, but the meetings have to continue. Black women, the reason Win with Black Women is so potent today is because they started as the purpose was to get the nomination for Kamala Harris. They achieved their goal in 2024. Then they said, well, let's keep going. In 2020, they said, well, let's keep going. And the problem that I see with black men, and Michael, I've told this to many black men, stop bitching that sisters have organized and mobilized, and you got to do it yourself. And if we really want to be honest, Michael, and I'm about to step on some serious toes, the reason many of these brothers don't want to organize and mobilize, because historically, when it came to organizing and mobilizing, it was the sisters who were doing the planning.
And let me pause that. And let me say this, right? And how disrespectful and dangerous this is, right? A lot of black men in the last, since 2020, when 1819, has been very disgruntled with the Democratic Party and the strategy and the way that they've been doing things, right? And it's like the black church. The black women did a lot of the planning, right? The black men did a lot of organizing and mobilizing as well on the front line, outside on the block, right? So inside the church, you still have the women inside the church worshiping and basically running the church, to the point where I can get into that, right? It's a whole lot, because you even have black women criticizing the black church now, right? They're supporting a lot of things that black men don't support within the Democratic Party. They haven't supported. So now when you see all these immigrants coming into the country, you see the Skittles rights, and they taking the rights of women, and women are starting to complain. The Democratic Party has shifted into a area where a lot of black men don't want to support it and want to be a part of it, right? So he's a damn lie. He's not telling the truth. This dude will do anything. He's not a black news network. He's a Democratic news network. He's not being honest. He's not telling the truth, because, see, he's talking as if black men are stupid. There's a reason why black men have abstained or stepped aside, right, and said, hey, we've been the second largest voting bloc. We're not taking part in this. We were always mobilizing and organizing. We just wasn't doing it for this and what they're doing, right? So, and whenever we did it for the benefit of the community, right? Of the community. We didn't, a lot of black men didn't rock with Kamala Harris. She wasn't our choice. She got a W husband. She wasn't our choice.
I'm just going to call it what it is.
Roland, I can't, listen, I won't disagree with you. I would tell you this: some of my biggest mentors and some of my folks that I revere in this game are black women. I can go from Shavonda Sumter. I can go to Judith Finellis. I can go on and on. I mean, the names that can speak ad nauseum. Regina Thomas. And even you look at the civil rights movement, they were the ones who were really organizing. They were writing the letters. They were, providing a place and, providing a place to stay. They were making the food. They were really, they're the pillars in the black church, right? And so we often, we look at that and we do get upset. The reality is, brothers have not put our egos to the side. And I am not ashamed to say, in particular, where black men vote, some of the backbone and a lot of our brass comes from black women that work alongside us and black women that work internally with us. So I'm not ashamed to say that. They do an amazing job. And it's not to say that we can't recruit brothers to do that. I will say this, Roland. There is a gap, at least that I've seen in the last 12 to 14 years. There is a gap from, I would say, black women operatives to black male operatives. I remember in 2014 when I was the field director for Congresswoman Esty in CT5, I sat in a room. We had a GOTV training for all the frontline races. There were about 64 frontline races that year. We were trying to retain the House. And Roland, I was one of two black men in that room.
Why?
One of five black folk in that room. So that also goes to the structural, that doesn't show up in the autopsy, and that doesn't, and it probably would.
Right. But see, this is the part where they're not honest, and they're not dealing with why this change, this catastrophic change has happened, right? See, and this is the part where I'm saying where I don't like Roland, because you're not honest, right? If you actually really love black people, let's get into the meat of what's happening and why black men are starting to abstain or stay away from the Democratic vote in politics, right? And you always want to have, like, the same way a lot of black men left the church. Why? What is happening here? But they're not going to address that because they don't love black people. See, when you love black people, you go and say, you know what? Listen, we got to get our brothers back on board. What happened? It's not ego or jealousy or jealous of black women. There's a fundamental and systemic problem within our community that needs to be addressed.
show up in the autopsy. And that's a whole nother conversation, how certain parties have alienated Black political principles, and yet that's why they've gone on to do other things.
They've alienated Black political principles. Yes, they have. And a lot of Black men stand for order. There's no more order. People just doing what they want to do within the party. And this is why you saw them prioritize immigrants over the Black community, prioritize Asian rights and LGBTQ rights over the Black community. You think a lot of Black men are happy with that? No.
Here's the deal, but here's the deal. I'll never forget, after the 2016 election, when Hillary lost, it was a group of Black women, I'll find the article, who wrote a letter and demanded a meeting with Tom Perez.
Why did they do that? First of all, let's be honest. A lot of Black women didn't give a damn about Hillary Clinton's politics. It was because she was a woman. They wanted a woman in office. This is the truth. And the same thing applied when Kamala ran, right? It's just, listen, women push hard for women's rights. And I'm not mad at women for doing that. I'm not mad at our sisters I'm not even mad at our sisters for having Black girls rock, right? They should be afforded all the things that we've been able to do as well, right? But when we start doing things as Black people that's to the detriment of ourselves, that's when it becomes a problem. That's when it becomes a problem. And what these progressive Democrats have done is they've used and leveraged some of our women against the community. And that's not all their fault. It's just that they dangle some things in front of them. Us as men, we seeing this and like, yo, we ain't rocking with that. So when they did that, now you start seeing women saying, wait a minute, I'm a biological woman. What are you talking about being what a woman is debatable? Because a lot of women supported those talking points at the time. Now women are starting to back up from it. What do you mean you want them to be in our schools talking to children? What do you mean you want to put these immigrants in Chicago and Philadelphia? Now sisters were starting to be against that. But what they did was they brought Trump in, and they made Trump the worst, the most racist man on the planet. So now you willing to abandon all the disgruntled things that you disagreed with the Democratic Party just to get Trump out of office. So now you're going to allow all of the things that the Democrats was doing that you disagreed with because you hate Trump that much. So they play minds on them. They play mind games on the minds of a lot of our women, and a lot of them be on board with it. But you had a lot of women calling this stuff out. So we have to do things that's for the benefit of our community. That's not an indictment on all women. That's an indictment on these people that use mind manipulation and they dangle carrots in front of us, man. And a lot of Black women, a lot of Black men are saying, yo, I'm doing couch, bro. I ain't messing with none of that. But let's play some more.
I sat there and I said, that's what you're supposed to do. Guess who did not do that? Black men.
Why?
In 2020, I remember it vividly. There were a group of Black men, I was on the text chain, who were trying to do the same thing to send to the DNC after the 2020 election. The letter never got sent. I got the text messages. I remember the conversation. And so what I am saying to brothers in Chicago, Houston, in Memphis, in Tallahassee, Miami, in Jackson, in Charlotte, all over, if you want more out of politics, what you can't do is go, ain't nobody talking to me, ain't nobody call me, ain't nobody ask me. What you got to do is align with Women with Black Men, your organization, Mondale Robinson's organization.
Now you see what he just said is align with women, Black men, as if Black men are just separate from Black women. See, this is what I'm saying about these dirty dogs and what they do. Black men don't have a problem with Black women like that. No, it's the way the politics are being operated. And a lot of us are looking and saying, yo, we not rocking with that. We not rocking with that. So they playing mind games on us, man. So they put Trump in there. They have all this redistricting, but nobody's asking a question. Wait a minute. While you were in there before the redistricting, why didn't you take these drastic steps then that you're taking now? Why didn't you do that during the 80s crack epidemic? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do that during the 90s high murder rate, right? Why didn't you, like, there's a lot of things that we could have done, and black men are asking these questions, right? But all of a sudden, we're causing division.
Or start your own locally, but it ain't gonna happen if black men are not organized and mobilized.
Well, let's do this. Let's do this, right? Let's do this. Let's go over here real fast, right? So when we get to Louis E. Martin, right? Louis E. Martin was a pioneer, journalist, civil rights activist, and behind-the-scenes political strategist who earned the moniker Godfather of Black Politics. Operating largely out of the public eye, he acted as a crucial liaison between the African-American community and 3 U.S. presidents, John F. Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson, and Jimmy Carter, right? Pivotal in 1960 campaign move. While visiting John F. Kennedy, Martin convinced the candidate to make a strategic phone call to Coretta Scott King and Dr. King after Dr. King was jailed. This was a historic call and widely credited with helping Kennedy secure a majority of the black vote in his election, right? So then we go over to A. Philip Randolph, right? He was a staunch socialist, trade unionist, and independent civil rights leader who often pressured Democratic presidents while he occasionally aligned with Democratic administrations to achieve policy goals. His political alliance remained firmly rooted in labor and civil rights movement, right? Randolph was a committed socialist. Well, here we go. Instead of organizing for the party, Randolph organized mass movements to force Democratic presidents to act on civil rights. In 1941, he threatened a massive march on Washington, forcing Democratic President Franklin D. Roosevelt to sign Executive Order 8802, which banned racial discrimination in the defense industry. In 1948, the 1948 DNC protests, Randolph famously picketed the 1948 Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia, demanding that Democrat President Harry S. Truman desegregate the U.S. Armed Forces. This continuous pressure ultimately contributed to Truman's integration of the U.S. military the same damn year, right? So this is what I'm saying about where you get this idiot, blithering dummy that get on here and disrespect black men when we have the history of organizing and mobilizing and getting things done. When we see things are moving with lack of order, there's a problem. Now, how come Fat Boy don't get up there and bring and invoke this spirit back up to tell young black men, you come from the line of these black men, and this is what we need to be doing if we want to see some change. He ain't going to do that. He's drawing a line in the sand between black men and black women and talking about what these are black women are doing, and you need to line with this, when he knows that there's a problem that black men are having with the Democratic Party, right? When we already know that Dr. King was an independent. He wasn't a Democrat, right? Then we get over here to Bob Moses, right? Bob Moses was a foundational civil rights activist who helped orchestrate one of the most significant challenges to the Democratic Party's establishment, right? Watch this. Remember when y'all talked about the Freedom Party? Guess who created it? A black Bob Moses. In 1964, he co-founded the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, MFDP, to challenge all white delegations that represented Mississippi in the National Democratic Party, right? As a field secretary for the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, and co-founder of the Civil Rights Federated Organization, Moses directed the 1964 Freedom Summer Project. This campaign brought hundreds of Northern college students to Mississippi to aggressively register black voters and organize the black community. The climax of Moses' political organization occurred in 1964 Democratic National Convention in Atlantic City, right? The MFDP sent a multiracial integration delegation to challenge the official all-white Mississippi delegation, arguing that the Redler's activity disenfranchised black citizens, right? Moses and the MFDP challenge forced the national reckoning within the Democratic Party. Though the party establishment offered a compromise, to seat only 2 MFL members, Moses and other leaders rejected it. Ultimately, the struggle led to major reforms in the Democratic Party's delegate section rules, requiring greater inclusion of minority groups in future national. Right? So this is the thing, right? He could easily come on here in the NAACP and can easily come out here and explaining to young black boys the importance of black male leadership on the front line. They don't do it. All they doing is criticizing these black men and saying his best thing is stop bitching. Who the hell you think you talking to? But then when he run into black men in public, all of a sudden, like this stuff is real weird. These people are weird, right? You had black women organizing, helping organizing, right? But most of the time it was black men on the front line losing their lives. Medgar Evers, Dr. King, Malcolm X, and I can go countless of black men that's been hanging from trees and light poles for standing up on behalf of their families. See, this is what happens. This is what happens when you have people that are not for the betterment of the black community while they claim that they are. These people are paid operatives, man, for the Democratic Party to keep the black community in the conditions of foundational black American community in the conditions of what they're in, because they're replacing you with other groups. Now, Tariq Nasheed, he also spoke on this, and he came to social media and said this.
Man, with these athletes, we're in a period now where they can legally get paid for the billions of dollars of value they bring to these universities. So now this Congressional Black Caucus and the NAACP, they're trying to tell them to drop their financial leverage and sacrifice their personal economy for a partisan map dispute. That's really, they're trying to help the damn immigrants with these damn maps. They don't do nothing for us in these districts anyway. That's why the black community is like, yeah, we ain't doing that. Yeah, if there's a bag in it, we're going to take that damn sports bag. The hell we're going to sacrifice for y'all black Democrats who don't do nothing for the community. Y'all don't do nothing, just basically help you save your job. You ain't offering no multi-million-dollar fund to replace the revenue those athletes are going to use. You can't ask the youth to finance a political protest with their own future. Y'all athletes better go get your damn money. Some damn Democrat shills trying to get you to sacrifice your career for their damn job. That's what this is about. See, family, these people, they demand loyalty from us without delivering tangibles. What are y'all thinking, Democrats? This is why you're losing. Black Americans, we're waking up to that one-way street of legacy politics, man. These organizations, they expect absolute loyalty from us and sacrifice from us whenever one of their damn political seats get threatened. But when we say we need some tangibles, we get every excuse in the world. Y'all roll Roland Martin's butterball ass up out here to tell us why we can't get shit. Y'all want us to sacrifice everything, but when we say, hey, man, we got to get let's get some priority with jobs, man. Let's get some reparations. Let's get a crime bill. Let's get some kind of tangible resources for our businesses. Then all of a sudden, y'all push Roland out. Y'all stupid fools. What you asking for? How you gonna ask for that? Did you form a plebiscite? Did you call the Congressional Black Caucus and talk to the front desk? Did you go to the NAACP brunch? Did you form a super PAC? Did you meet up with Kamala Harris and her chief of staff? It's always some stupid ass hurdle that we gotta go through. And we got to crash out for you. Y'all give us every obstacle and hurdle that we got to go through to get something from you. It's always, damn, we would, but the Republicans stop us. We was going to do it, but what you going to do? The Republicans going to come in and make it. We got to get the, do we have the House? Do we have the Senate? It's goddamn excuses all the time. Y'all got more excuses than a damn baby daddy. Y'all horrible with them damn excuses. Damn, enough of that. Y'all don't have excuses for all these other groups. You got all the excuses for us, all these non-citizens come over here and there's a whole plethora of damn money and resources for them. Get the hell out of here. Listen, protecting these politicians' jobs, We ain't doing that. You got to protect the lineage. Yeah, this is not about empowering the grassroots. This is a move to protect their congressional seats.
And see, as Tariq said, you want these young boys to sacrifice to save your chairs. You didn't give a damn about the black community, right? So it's funny how when you hear black men talk, 90% of black men that have a problem with the Democratic strategies are saying the same thing. They never, ever, ever bring any of these intelligent, articulate black men on the show to voice their opinion because he's a Democratic news station. That's what he is, right? You're not allowed to have a different of opinion. If you are, then you're MAGA, you're going against them. No, we disagree. We disagree, right? Man, this whole thing, and then when he's on here talking about organizing and everything is against black women, and if you ain't agreeing with that, has nothing to do with black women, man. Has nothing to do with that. This guy is a problem because there's a lot of approaches and strategies that he could take to get through to black men, and he chooses not to do them. Roland Martin chooses not to do them. So, and this is why he's been being called out for so many years by so many black men. Like Tariq Nasheed and the Black Authority, but Tariq wasn't done.
That's been affected by those maps. They want to use these young black athletes as political pawns. They want to weaponize our cultural power to secure their own jobs. The community sees right through that garbage. Yeah? We see right through it. And then they want to shift the burden on the black youths. Why does the burden of structural change always fall on the back of young black men? The ones y'all do least amount of things for. For 4 years, y'all shit on black men, and then when November voting season come around, how come y'all dumbass black men ain't in front of the line voting? Y'all for 4 years, y'all told us that the black woman was the backbone of the community. Y'all told us that the black LGBT are the real riders, and we're homophobic, and we're transphobic, and we just got to pop pussy. I don't know what y'all, we just all the time, but we're expected to do the damn heavy lifting. I don't know how y'all think that's going to work. Y'all, for 4 years, every 4 years, y'all go through a cycle of crapping on us, and then wonder why we ain't running to save you when the block gets hot. And your excuses, well, the Republicans, they gonna get you. You getting me. Shit. You can't keep blaming the damn Republicans. You get me right now, nigga. Damn, y'all undermining us in everything we do. Yeah? Do we have Democrat shills in here? Hey, Democrat shills, tell the people at the DNC this campaign ain't working. It's not working for a reason. Y'all can't talk to people like they're stupid no more.
So this strategy hasn't worked. The campaign isn't working because you can't alienate your base, man. And black men have been a largest voting bloc behind progressive whites. Black men been on the front line voting and supporting, religiously supporting the Democratic Party. But it's just a lot of disrespect. And now you want young black boys because it's football, basketball. You want young black boys to come in and save you. That's what you want. But he coming on here saying, well, y'all need to stop bitching and stop and being organized. But at the same time, you want black men's sons to come save the community, to come save the party. Come on, man. Like, it's just dumb and disrespectful, man. It's not about black men versus black women. It's not about none of that foolishness, man. Because everything we do should be for the betterment of our community. These people are drawing these lines in the sand. So y'all got to let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV. What's your opinion on this, man? The Democratic Party strategy and Roland Martin, man. Leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Until the next time. Peace.